RMIT works really closely with IDP in many of our international student recruitment markets, and IDP played really a key part in terms of how we embed our strategy and ensure that we're working closely with students that are interested in studying in Australia and at RMIT University. So when RMIT spoke to us about this new product, we were really keen to be involved because it allows us to work even more closely with the IDP team that are on the ground, particularly at a time when many of our staff are unable to travel. And also we know that international students are always really interested in their eligibility for certain programs. So the concept that we could empower IDP counsellors to have more certainty around our entry requirements and be able to provide that to students more timely was really attractive for us at RMIT. We know that students and parents and all of us today want everything quickly and in a really timely manner. So what this enables us to do is be more proactive. So rather than wait for a student to contact us or to contact IDP and then IDP to contact us, this really allows us to give the IDP counsellors all of the information that they need to then be able to give that information to the student as well. So for me, it's really about us having a more proactive approach to admissions and eligibility, and then empowering IDP to be able to help the student more quickly in a more timely way. Sure. So RMIT, has a really long history of being at the forefront of technology, and for us, what we want to make sure that we do is that we can really showcase that technology that we have at RMIT, not just to our current students, but to be able to really show our strengths earlier on in that student journey. So for us, what this allows us to do is for a student who's interested in studying at RMIT University, the way that we're working with IDP now allows us to use technology in a more meaningful way, so that the interfaces between RMIT and IDP are better connected, which means that students can have more information when they need it, and that helps students make their decisions, and it helps parents have more information at an earlier stage in their journey when they're considering where to study. So we think it's a really good mix. Because as you mentioned, RMIT is well known for technology, and what we're doing here is weaving that technology strength into the way that we can connect and talk to students earlier on in their consideration phase for study. It plays a really important part because we know that particularly for an international student, it can be really complex and difficult to navigate university systems, university websites, to be able to find really clear details of their program and really clear details about if they meet the eligibility requirements for a university. And on top of that, we know that if students are considering 2, 3 or 4 universities, it can make it quite difficult to be able to really have a clear understanding of what they're looking to study and how they can then start their journey in terms of applying to university and then considering their offers. So I think this scheme is really important to allow students to really quickly and easily ascertain the information that they need to be able to find information about studying. What it then allows us to do as a university is to understand the students' interests, the programs that they're interested in, and be able to then go back to the student and provide them with additional information that they need. It's a really good question, and I think something that as a university we've had to work really hard on in the last 2 years is building up our digital infrastructure. Luckily at RMIT, as you mentioned, we are well known for technology and design. which meant that when we had to move all of our programs online, we were in a pretty strong position to be able to do that. But something that we've been working really hard on over the last 2 years is how we support new students, but also our current students to create community. And with lockdowns and students overseas, we've had to do that in a digital environment. So a lot of the work that we've done has been really creating online digital communities and support services to really help students have a really positive experience, not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. How do we help students make friends? How do we help students with technology troubleshooting? And how do we make sure that students have some element of face-to-face support, as well as those digital communities? So we've delivered a lot of initiatives to support students, and what we're really optimistic about is, as the campus is opening, as we're anticipating students will start to come back later this year and early next year, if we can really blend the digital support that we've now got in place with that face-to-face element that students will have. What that means is we can offer students what they want in the format that they want it. So students, if they prefer digital support and digital communities, they have access to that. And likewise, if they prefer that face-to-face approach or a blended approach, then they have access to that as well. So I think it's an exciting year ahead, because as universities, I think the last 2 years has been really heavily focused on improving that student experience, and I think we've been able to do that. And now we can broaden that out so that we can support students in the way that they want to be supported. And again, what we've been able to work on with this scheme with IDP is, again, blending that face-to-face support that prospective students have with the technology behind it, so that we can give students an offer in principle when they want it quickly, and then allow them to carry on with their application journey. So my advice for other institutions looking to come on board is that IDP Live is something that students want and need, and I think it allows us as institutions to be able to provide students through IDP with an offer in principle which gives them certainty. So I think it's really valuable. I think it's the way forward because it allows us to be more proactive in our admissions approach. There's a fair bit of work that goes into the setup, and for us that primarily fell to our admissions team. So there was a lot of work for them to set that up, but we think it puts us in a strong position to put RMIT front and centre when agent counsellors are talking to their students about studying at RMIT.